Madhu, welcome to the show. It's such a
Thank
pleasure
you.
and honor to have you. It's been almost what 12 years, eight plus years since we met.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So before I introduce you, I would just want to give the viewers some amount of context about what we are going to chat today. So in this show, we've had
Okay.
wide variety of guests. We've had skill coaches, we've had strength and conditioning coaches, right from the elite level to someone who's just working their way up. In India, I think SNC has sort of become a trend right now. People have
Yeah.
started assuming, at least in my observation, that the upgradation to personal training would be going and working in the capacity of a strength and conditioning coach. I'm not sure if that's the right way to look at it. And
Mhm.
when I was just going back and searching through my contacts, I found you, and you've been in the industry for almost 12 plus years now.
Exactly. Yeah.
So both of us started our journey as personal trainers, and then very later we decided to switch gears into SNC. So it's always nice to reach out to people who've come through the same grind and then discuss perspective, rather than just having binary opinions whether this is good or bad or this is the right way. And I don't think there is right answer to this, whether you should start by becoming a personal trainer, then uh, move into SNC, or straight away start as an SNC. I don't think there is a right answer. I think all there is different perspectives. And I think this chat will mostly about sharing our experiences. And you would be the best candidate to share your experience, considering you've spent your time as a personal trainer for quite some time, and then now you've enrolled for masters, and your
Yeah.
postgrad is going on. So start by giving us little information about how you started in this field and how did you work your way up to finding a spot in the master's program in this university.
All right. I mean, I went through the regular program of being a fitness assistant. There is not exactly a fitness assistant role per se, but fitness instructor would be the right word to use, I believe. So basically, no personal training. Just go help people out in the gym, and then move up the ladder. Okay, so I worked as a fitness instructor for almost 1.5 years, and then I moved to. I did a certification to become a personal trainer. And it was one of the local organizations back in Bangalore. I'm from Bangalore, so there was an academy called as the KFA. The localites would know it. It's called Karnataka Fitness Academy, and I did a course from them. I got a pretty good I got the fundamentals right from them. Okay, and then I decided to do the recognized personal training certifications. That is, I did CSCS. I just jumped the gun. Usually, people go for ACE or NASM or something which is related to more, which is oriented towards more personal training. But I decided to do CSCS because I wanted to take up something which is challenging. So yeah, that's how I started off, by the way. And just to retract what I said, I don't hold a bachelor's in a sports science or exercise science field. I'm a bachelor in computer application. I hold a bachelor's in computer applications, and I was passionate about the workout and being fit because I used to go to gym for my own personal workout from the age of 17. So I realized in my final year that this is not what I enjoy doing. So I wanted to do something which I'm passionate about, and that's why I chose to become a personal trainer. And that's how I am as of now. Like it's been almost 12 years, so I'm happy with that.
Great, great. So, reflecting upon the past, I'm sure you've had instances where you've gone through different phases where you wanted to be a personal trainer first, then the nutrition world slightly started pulling you, then the wellness
Yeah,
industry started pulling you to that direction. So we've
exactly.
been all over the place, and then
Hmm.
finally, as you rightly said, at a later stage of your career is when you decided that you don't want to deal with general population anymore. You want to streamline and narrow down your service to the athletic population. So my question
It's correct.
is it all right to be a personal trainer through your career? this question and this answer would probably make sense for someone who is starting out in the industry, where there is a lot of push and pull from different directions in their own headspace. So should you be an SNC for the sake of being an SNC, or is it just all right to continue as a personal trainer for the rest of your career? What is your take on that?
Okay, the answer would be something trivial. It is like more subjective, and I would like to say that these two are interrelated. Okay, an SNC coach. Someone can be an SNC coach, an individual, and not training elite athletes. You know what I mean? Because there's always grassroots level, and the picture what we have as of now is when someone talks about SNC, they always imagine that training elite athletes. You get my point, right?
Yeah.
I could be a personal trainer. I could still do SNC with an upcoming athlete who's just playing for an example, who represents his college team in a basketball team. The training would remain the same. However, when the usual procedure is conducted, that is like when the personal trainer conducts the fitness sessions, the testing fitness sessions, you realize that his strengths and weaknesses are something else, and the elite levels strength and weaknesses are something else. So that's the only difference. If not, everything else remains the same. The periodization, the program planning, and the way you coach, everything remains the same. So what the takeaway message from this would be: yes, you could be a personal trainer and SNC at the same time. It's not like someone chooses to be a SNC and he needs to train only elite athletes. No, you could still train the normal general population in a gym. So these are interrelated.
Makes sense. Right on. So in the fitness field, there's a lot of trends going on, right?
Yeah.
Like once it was about Swiss ball, then it became about functional training, then it was all about group classes. So as a personal trainer, anyone who's starting off in this field, how do you create a strong immunity towards the pull of such trends that comes your way? Right now, probably you've spent your time in this field, so you know what's black and what's white. For someone who's new, starting off, how do they just keep themselves away from such trend and not categorize them as a group X instructor or a functional training? Because when I see descriptions of certain people on Instagram, on LinkedIn, I mean, they've just categorized themselves to one particular bracket. How do you prevent that from happening?
The specific answer would be someone should rely information from research-driven, evidence-based data. Okay, what I meant to say is you could go to any website, like get some information. However, if the author or the person is not qualified enough to put out the information, it is just anecdotal data. Like you pick up information from a research paper, it would definitely be valid, and it can definitely be proven. Like if someone asks, what is the rationale for you to give me this exercise, I could always tell that, okay, this is the paper, go back and study and read it. Okay, if not, it will be anecdotal data. And probably this might distinguish the personal trainer and an SNC coach, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
because when you're working for a team, obviously whatever exercise prescription or the program designing you do, it has to be based on evidence-based. There is no chance that you can give anecdotal data, exercises. Right. However, with respect to personal training, to a certain extent, maybe I can say around, if you want me to quantify, maybe 15 or 20% of anecdotal exercises are still okay. As long as the exercises are safe and it is giving results, it's still all right. Because there's no accountability with the personal training. If you're working in a SNC setup, obviously you need to churn out reports. Someone would ask, definitely, okay, where did this athlete start and what is the progression? First example. Second example would be, if there is an injury, then he would ask for sure, okay, what program did you prescribe? What was the program all about? So if there is no rationale for whatever the program prescription I gave, then I would be caught. They
Right.
would definitely fire me from the job.
Yeah, absolutely.
So so the takeaway point is, maybe I'm sorry to beat around the bush. So the takeaway point would be to say that if you're following any celebrity influencer, or if you're accessing any of the websites, make sure that the person has the credentials. Okay, it will be, if you read an article, usually they will reference the papers. It will be at the bottom, and you can make out if it's genuine or not.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So, in the personal training world, you need not necessarily be an expert in exercise prescription or loading schemes or periodization / planning. You need not even be an expert in nutrition. I think if you understand the slightly better than the basics, I think you can still get away with your coaching skills as a personal trainer. You're not completely diving into the subtle details of programming or nutrition or the lifestyle related interventions that you put into place. So, is it one reason that you decided to let go of the personal training hat and then started exploring the SNC? Because in SNC, as you rightly pointed out, everything is very specific and very specialized in nature. You are not in a position to take care of their nutrition or wellness or lifestyle. All you have to do is take care of their strength and conditioning and keep them injury free, which needs certain amount of expertise and narrowing down of your practice. Is that why you chose this uh, profession?
More or less, yes. Because here, as you rightly said, maybe I can build up on whatever you already mentioned. When training athletes, you got to be more specific, right? You isolate. Say, for an example, if we talk about strength, then there is strength, speed strength, then there is power. So training athletes would require specialization in these three, whereas general population, you just talk about strength. Okay, you're not specifying anything there. Okay, in general. Okay, once I realized that I have reached a certain stage wherein now I have the basic foundational knowledge about strength training. I wanted to enhance my knowledge and to improve my knowledge. So what's the next step? Obviously, read more about it, and then the SNC. You get my point, right?
Yeah,
so so that's why I chose to be an SNC coach, because you need more of technical knowledge. At the same time, you need more of your soft skills as well, because while dealing with the elite athletes, usually they have higher strength levels, okay, in general, typically, compared to novice athletes, and
yeah.
they have high motivation as well. Okay, you don't need to sit on their head to get things done. So you prescribe, they're motivated enough to do work out on their own. So the skill set for an SNC would be more skewed towards programming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should be good at programming, you should be good at technical stuff, wherein they already have a base level fitness. You're trying to improve their fitness level further. So you
Right.
need a slightly more level of technical expertise. Wherein compared to novice athletes, any program just to make them move, it would still give a result. It's not like it has to be very specific. So yeah, that's why it is more challenging. So that's why I chose to do SNC, like as you rightly mentioned.
Makes sense. So, switching gears a little bit,
Yeah.
once you become a full-time SNC, either you
Yeah.
start off your career as an SNC or you spend your time doing personal training and then switch gears into strength and conditioning, like how you are doing right now. There is a trend, not everyone, not generalizing by any means, but there is a trend that people tend to uh, look down upon the personal training days or personal trainers in general. I don't think that's the right way to do, because I'm biased, because my route was through personal training, and so is yours. So, how much benefit have you derived from being a personal trainer, where you are right now as an SNC?
Okay. There are these transferable skills. There are common aspects between personal training and strength and conditioning. And namely, two most important things are coaching, very basic, and your program designing. Okay, so these two are common to both personal training and SNC.
Right.
So having been a personal trainer for almost 9 years, so that has definitely given me an advantage of getting a hands-on experience of how to coach people, at the same time how to do a program designing. Okay, so and again, as I told, the only difference would be in SNC, it's much more organized. You need more because we talk about periodization. So you have your the phases, like you have competition phase, you have your off season, it goes on.
Yeah.
However, with general clients, you don't have to necessarily go in depth, like in detail. All we need is, okay, we talk about, all right, your goal is to achieve so and so in 3 months. So that's sort of
Mm.
like a mesocycle. There's no micro, there's no macro, nothing. So 3 months is the target. So we plan our exercises or program designing would happen for the keeping in mind that this person needs to get results in 3 months. Okay.
Mm.
However, with SNC, it's much more organized. That's the only difference. So both program designing and coaching are common aspects. So it has definitely helped me. Like being a personal trainer to SNC, it has helped me a lot.
Okay. So this is a hypothetical question. Let's say
Yeah.
you didn't pursue the SNC route, and what you wanted to do in your life was become the best personal trainer ever lived. What is that you could have possibly done to you know uh, raise to the
To become,
expert category? Yeah,
yeah.
as a personal
So
trainer.
if I had to become a top personal trainer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. More effective communication, all right, and more perseverance, and sales and marketing skills. These three.
Let
I'll give
me let
you
me intervene there. Oh,
yeah,
the second point and third point. Can you expand upon it a little more? Maybe you start with
yeah,
your
okay.
example.
So sales and marketing skills. For an example, I would just talk in layman's language now. I am a personal trainer, and when will I be called a personal trainer? The answer is when someone buys the personal training from me.
Yeah.
Okay, so that as simple as such. If I'm not able to sell, or I would put it across in a, it is sounding explicit. So if someone opts to train from me, then I become a personal trainer for that person, for that ex individual. So if my marketing and if my sales and marketing skills are not good enough, he would never be my client first and foremost, because
Mm.
this field is so competitive. You have, there is online training. There are top coaches, in the market. So how would you break through? So that's the first and foremost thing. So the more clients I have, the better experience I get, first thing. Plus, I would make a good name for myself. Okay, that's one thing. So when I say perseverance, it is related to what I just spoke about now. You need to keep trying until you succeed. Like, okay, I did approach a person. For example, I say that, look, I can get you whatever results you're looking for, and we'll have to go through this particular program for 3 months. I discuss everything about the plan, how we achieve the target, how we can get your results, and all those stuff. If the person does not agree with me, okay, I shouldn't just give up. So there is a different way to approach, because the way I spoke to him or the information I gave to this individual was not good enough. So I need to
Mm.
put it across in a different way. So you need perseverance for that, because if you can't find enough clients, people would just say that, okay, no, something is wrong with me, so let me just give it up or whatever. They just quit at the same time. So that shouldn't be the case.
Makes sense. Makes sense. It's interesting that we never discussed about the technical expertise or the foundational knowledge in personal training.
Oh, it is okay. Let me add that. Okay, it is very subjective, and I'm sure that most people would take me wrong, saying that why am I not speaking about technical expertise or the knowledge? Okay, I have two reasons for that. One, I just spoke about it, saying that first and foremost, he needs to be my client. That's when I can prescribe him some workout.
Makes
And
sense.
the second point is this is research related. The training stimulus is specific to athletes, right? Like someone has a very, very good fitness level. For example, layman's language again, his 1 RM squat is say around 150 kilos. Okay, so to elicit the training stimulus, I need to prescribe something which can give him more stimulus than the 1 RM. Like you, you're getting my point, right? It has to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
much more advanced. On the other hand, someone cannot even do a body weight squat. Okay, he struggles to do 15 body weight squat. For him, if I just make him do the exercise prescription can be the most simplest of all. No, no special exercises whatsoever. Even then, it would give him the results because his training stimulus is at the bottom level. Any training you give him, it would just stimulate the metabolic process in that particular person. It would give him strength gains. It would give him, all the right positive results. Nothing undesired. You get my point, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I didn't speak much about technical expertise. However, it's subjective again. It needs to go hand in hand. You cannot just completely ignore that you should not be having technical expertise. That's
Yeah,
a wrong
yeah, yeah, yeah.
statement.
I get the point. So, in short, someone who is probably will become the best personal trainer is the guy or girl who can sell the best at the end of the day.
And okay, here's an important thing. Here's an important thing. Maybe I forgot to mention this. Okay, an individual signed up with me for a month, and after a month, if I don't give him enough results, there is no reason for him to continue personal training from me.
Yeah, makes
So if
sense.
I'm doing a crappy job, I lose it. So there
Yeah.
has to be that knowledge involved. However, to break through, sales and marketing is more important. Once you make the breakthrough, you have to have the sufficient knowledge to give him results. So it will go both hand in hand. But if you ask me to prioritize, I would put sales and marketing as number one, then technical expertise number two, perseverance number three, and the ability to effectively communicate would be number four. So these are my priority.
Great, great. That makes a lot of sense. So you also worked in Middle East, right? Dubai, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
that's right.
How was the experience
Yeah.
different compared to what you've experienced in India?
Oh, lot different. To be honest, as I said, again, you're dealing with a different client list altogether. Their eating habits are different. Then their attitudes are completely different. In India, it's more or less like a boot camp training style would work out with the clients. They need some motivation. Basically, I don't want to use this word, but most of them are lazy to do the workout. You need to be on top of your game, saying that you just need to call them once they're in the gym. Just you might have to yell at them, saying that, come on, it's only 8 counts, we are aiming for 15, you can do it, come on, do it.
Yeah.
These are the things which is expected in India. And this is slightly different in Dubai because they come from different countries. All they need is the technical expertise. Like, okay, we will be doing so and so today, and this is the plan for today. And today is a strength day, and we'll be doing so and so. That's it. Okay, and I need to make sure that I I need to have the attention to detail. If the person is performing a squat, I cannot just look here and there. I got to stay focused, and if he is doing anything wrong, I would have to correct it. That's the difference. First point number one. And when it comes to eating habits, preferably if I say, all right, it's much more easier to connect with the person in India because everything is Indian, like the lifestyle I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I could just say that, all right, eat for the breakfast. Maybe you can have if I say egg burji. I know it's a wrong word to use, but egg burji and say one toast. Okay, it makes sense. However, if
Yeah.
I tell the same to, yeah, it would not go good. So you need to have a diverse. What's the right word to use?
Options.
Different cuisines and yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
those
sense.
things.
So we spoke about the good part about being a personal trainer. How do you think it has acted against you? while you made this shift as an SNC in terms of the coaching element or just the basic thought process?
The straightforward answer would be no. I mean, no negative effect at all. Rather, it has helped me a lot.
Right.
Like the hands-on coaching experience, program designing, and how to be a professional when you're in the weight room. You can't just slack. So when you walk into the strength room, you got to be presentable, and you got to have those etiquettes of a trainer. So everything has helped me a lot. Like transitioning from PT to SNC immensely. Like there's no negative thing I can recollect.
Right, right, yeah. Were you also part of the chasing the trend cycle in the personal training days? Did you also chase some sort of trend that was in existence back then?
Yeah, a lot, in fact. I would, okay, if I have to recollect, there were so many new things happened. Let me speak about the foam rolling thing. It works. I'm not saying it does not work. However, the way the athletes used to do the foam rolling was it was not productive. Like there are so many ways of doing it, and someone would do it like before the workout for 20 to 30 minutes to say that it will increase the range of motion, then the blood flow and all the stuff. It is, if you read research, it is more debatable. There's no right and a wrong answer. So I used to always chase my clients saying that, look, you need to do foam rolling you need to spend 5 to 10 minutes of your time pre-workout in foam rolling. There are few who could do it post-workout. There are few who could do it pre-workout. It all depends. Again, it is you need to analyze, and it is subjective. So it is not like one trend is. There's no one size fits all principle here.
Makes sense.
I mean, this is what I can recollect, but I'm sure that I've gone through a lot. As of now, I'm not able to recollect.
No problem.
What all happened here?
So back in your personal training days, was there any sort of upgradation in terms of your subject knowledge happening at all? Or was it purely in terms of communication and making yourself a better, for lack of a better word, salesman?
Okay, I spend most of my time on soft skills because I found that to be my weakness. Because even the most simplest thing, it's like I did prescribe. I remember this very much because one gentleman asked me saying that, why are you prescribing this exercise? Okay, I gave him an answer, but he didn't accept it. But I was so sure of the workout, what I was giving was the most effective. It would give him the results for sure. But my inability to tell him, put across the information in the right way, made him look like a fool in front of him. Like if you ask me any question related to technical stuff now, probably I would be able to convince you saying that this is why you need to do this exercise for so and so reason. But back then when I started my personal training, that didn't happen. So I spent a lot of time on developing my soft skills. That's first point. However, the good thing about picking up an international certification related to personal training is you need to go through the CPD, like continuing professional development. So invariably, indirectly, you always upgrade your knowledge. Okay. So that's the good part about it. So both went hand in hand in my case. In particular, I spent more time on soft skills. At the same time, I was doing my CPD points. So I used to collect CPD points. So even the technical knowledge, I was constantly keeping upgrading. So that was my journey.
So given a choice, would you have bypassed the personal training journey and straight away jumped into SNC?
No. I wouldn't have done that. That would have been a wrong choice altogether, in my personal opinion.
Right.
Because even now, I could get into SNC because, like as I told that, as I've already mentioned that I don't have a degree related to sports science, right? I could get into the master's course just because I had the experience and I could prove my knowledge to the program director, because I had to go through the interview process. wherein I had to demonstrate my technical ability. He was okay, and then he said, "All right, you can do your masters." If I didn't have that, probably I wouldn't have ended up here.
Makes sense. See, honestly speaking, my only trouble is when personal trainers, other than the training intervention that they put in place, pick up a blood test, blood profile, and then
Yeah.
look at it and then start prescribing supplements or medicines to just help with their vitamin D deficiency or C-reactive protein deficiency. Like without, see, I don't think we are in a position to prescribe anything like that. You might understand at
Yes.
the surface level what these blood parameters means, but it might take
Yeah.
good 7 to 10 years of investing your time in academics to clearly understand what is it you should do. And even doctors at that level probably would fail pathetically in doing something that will fix the issue. And who are we to pick up a blood profile and treat it? As long as we understand that, but the objective is to keep the client happy, give them a vitamin D supplements, then that's fine. But if you take your job too seriously, and if you imagine that you're better than a doctor, that's when the real trouble starts.
Exactly, that's true.
Yeah.
Just to add to this, whatever you said, that's why having a degree is so important. There are two ways of becoming an SNC coach, or for that matter, even the personal trainer. Someone can just do a personal trainer certification. He's qualified and he can start doing personal training. However, if you have a 3 years degree related to sports science or exercise science, it gives you a very good solid background. You exactly know what you're doing, first and foremost point. Why this is related, and valid example would be to digest the research paper. When someone goes to the research paper, there are so many words written there, and if you have just done the basic certification, you'll be wondering, okay, what is this? Say, just to give an example, if say X exercise would increase the strength in the calf, that would be layman's language. But when you look at a paper, it would be more isolated. It would pinpoint saying that either it would give strength gains in gastrocnemius or soleus.
Okay. Makes sense.
So when this was like the most basic example I'm trying to give. However, when just as you mentioned, if you're talking about the physiological changes taking place inside the body when someone is doing a CV activity, there are a lot more technical words used in a research paper. And if you can't understand that, then you would always get half information. Yeah. So half-baked information is always wrong, and that's when people start arguing, saying that no, I have read it somewhere. This is good, so you can take this supplement. You do this, you do that. Everything goes for a toss.
Yeah, the trouble is when your reference becomes Men's Health or some sort of fitness magazine. That's when the real trouble starts.
There you go. Yes. Yeah. Probably I should have used this word before. When you asked me the first question, I should have told this, but I missed.
Yeah. Also, do you think if you don't know that you don't know about something, there comes certain amount of confidence in putting things across because you don't know you're bullshitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the case when I initially used to prescribe supplements and dietary interventions, reading some random article about how saturated fat is in fact good and not bad, and then add a lot of butter, ghee in your diet so that it helps with your apolipoprotein B. You know the names, and it is good enough for the client to go, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. But at that moment, I didn't realize that I don't know anything about what I'm talking. I just knew the intervention to put in place. But what if things go south? If I prescribe saturated fat to someone else and this guy end up having cholesterol of, I don't know, 350, 400? I could be sued if I was not in India or somewhere else.
Exactly. That's it is such an eye opener what you just spoke about now, because it is how can I put it? Okay, the only word I would use is being crystal clear. Okay, so when you're crystal clear about something, anything you ask related to it, you would be able to answer it. So if something goes wrong, as you rightly mentioned, you know what to do.
Yeah.
However, if you have the half-baked information, as you just rightly mentioned, it's you would never be able to justify your answer. You would never be able to do the right things. And this is important in SNC compared to personal training, because here you're dealing with athletes who are being paid, who are being sponsored, and if something goes
Yeah,
wrong with them, you're
yeah.
being held responsible. That's a very wrong thing.
Yeah, and the liberty that comes with being an SNC is that you don't have to take care of the nutrition, lifestyle, wellness. You've got experts to take care of these things because you, as an SNC, if you start talking nutrition on the floor while you're training, the athlete might know that you don't know really what you're talking about. Whereas there could be an expert sitting in the next chamber who can provide valuable information than what you know, or a physiotherapist for that matter, rehab interventions. You are in no position to talk about rehab. Your job is something else. So that liberty sort of helps you to specialize in what you're truly intending to do in your career.
Exactly. That's true. And just to add a little bit to it, maybe a sports scientist would be in a better position to deal with all these things, because that's why, again, it goes back to the foundation of having a degree.
Yeah.
In degree, usually there's no specialization in SNC, like in the sense, like at least in India, you have a sports science degree which talks about everything. The what do you call this? The physiological changes, the pathological changes, plus a little bit about practical. What do you call this? The practical sessions, everything. Like it is an overall generalized sports science degree. Okay, so yes, that would give you much more in-depth information compared to just having just a certification. So a sports scientist would be able to deal with this in a better fashion than compared to the SNC coach alone.
Makes sense. Did you have enough is enough moment when you decided to let go of the personal training hat and decided to be an
Yeah.
SNC?
Yes.
Would you mind
That's
sharing
why
it with us?
it might not sound good, but okay, let me share it. It's just that I'm not someone who is outgoing, and I'm not good at sales and marketing. I'm a guy
Okay.
who relies on my information. It is like, okay, I have this information with me. You like it, train with me. If not, you don't have to. And this approach does not work in personal training usually. You might be the
Mm.
best trainer, you will have the best of the knowledge, but if you're not presentable and if you can't convert it, you would never have clients with you. So for me, that was the most difficult part. So I reached a stage wherein it's like, okay, I have X amount of knowledge now. This is good enough to work in an elite environment. So I need to either I can upgrade my skills from here and change my track a little bit. It is still related to fitness and health industry. However, uh, I decided to move from personal training to SNC just because, as I told, my marketing and sales were not that great.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Uh,
yeah,
Also, I think it's very important that we discuss the financial side of things because people would really like to know how it is to
yeah,
be a good, well-paid personal trainer versus an SNC who's a beginner. Because you could make good money being a personal trainer,
yeah.
all said and done. And in India, if I'm specifically talking about our nation, there aren't many SNC jobs available in the market. So you would have to
Exactly.
really think twice before you make that shift. So what is your take on that?
It is. It is. What do you call this? It's very flashy. SNC field is very flashy. But the truth is, if someone has to work just to gain the experience of working in an elite team, someone has to work for unpaid internships or work placements for almost say 2 years. Even that, even that's not good enough to gain all the necessary exposure or the necessary knowledge. Okay, so it is not a well-paid job, to be honest, because as you rightly pointed out, there's a big difference between demand and supply. There are so many. The supply is more, and the demand is very less. So as of now, if I talk in particular about Indian SNC industry, all we have is IPL. Okay, so that I can count like 12 teams. We have ISL, Indian Super League. maybe around 10 teams. And then what else? Pro Kabaddi League, there is around
Yeah.
10 to 12 teams. And all these national centers, that is SAI, I'm talking about state teams like cricket state teams and volleyball state teams. Roughly, if you put it across, if you add all the number, it would be around somewhere around not more than 150.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
And
it.
every personal trainer wants to be an SNC coach now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what is. I can't isolate the reason why it has happened. Maybe it is too flashy to work with an elite athlete, but it's not a well-paid job. And if you're passionate about something, if you're really good at something, like as I told, if you have the very good technical knowledge, if you know that I can make it very good, then you can think about being a full-time SNC coach. If not, being a personal trainer and training athletes at an amateur level would be the best choice. You'll still have the financial stability. At the same time, you're living your dream of being an SNC coach, like training athletes. That would be the
Yeah.
best option, according to me.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So I think there are a lot of internship opportunities available in India as well. If someone wants to transition from a personal trainer to an SNC, there are a lot of organizations who provide internship. You just need to be smart enough to know which one is good, which one is bad, which is what I did. Midway through my career, I got the opportunity to intern with someone who was extremely good, and that sort of put me in the right path. So I think people should also look at internship opportunities and not directly look for an SNC job once you've been a personal trainer for 5, 6 years, and you have ACE or CSCS. That doesn't, by default, assure you a job in any athletic setting. People assume once you clear CSCS, it's all sunshine and rainbows. I don't think that's the case anymore. It could have been the case back in 2005 to 2010, where there weren't many CSCS certified people.
Exactly.
Which year did you
That's
get your
true.
CSCS done?
I passed out in 2012.
I was
Not
early.
2012. It is 9 years now. Okay, so this is my fourth renewal. So I did it long ago. And as I told that back then, there was the SNC field was like very niche. It was, I don't know, it was not even existed, I believe, except for KSCA. I'm from Karnataka, right? So except for KSCA, NCA, and a few other cricket academies, it was almost like non-existent. So I had to make a choice. Like even though I was CSCS certified, I couldn't get into full-time SNC job. So that's what, as I previously mentioned, I was doing the personal training at the same time, being involved with the SNC as well. Like I used to train athletes on a one-on-one basis, but there's a big difference when you work for a team as a SNC coach and working SNC coach as one-on-one. So that yeah, as you rightly pointed out, yes, someone has to go through this progression. There's no other alternative. Either start doing internships, get that exposure, much needed exposure, and then move up the ladder. That's the only way to go across, at least in India as of now.
So did CSCS help you in grabbing a job back in India, Bangalore?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It helped me a lot because obviously it shows that I am capable of doing something, at least like with respect to technical knowledge. So yeah, it did help me land a job in one of the most established commercial gyms in Bangalore. At the same time, when I moved to Dubai as well, this is what helped me. Like my certification, it helped me a lot to get the job.
Yeah. So Madhu, if someone wants to relocate to Dubai and work there as a personal trainer after having worked here in India for about 4 or 5 years, and let's say hypothetically they have ACE or CSCS or whatever personal training certification that's available, what's the right way to go about it?
Okay, first and foremost thing, they need to get registered with REPS. There is an organization called REPS UAE. So to work as a personal trainer, an individual needs to have REPS level 3. If not, if someone has REPS level 2 certification, they could work as a fitness instructor. Okay, so as you just gave an example of someone having an ACE certificate, usually it would be classified as reps level 2A, which the A refers to provisional, which means that he is qualified enough. However, there is a certain element which is missing. So he might have to do, they will analyze your case and they would say that, usually they would say that the practical part is missing because ACE is done online, right?
Yeah.
So you have demonstrated the theoretical experience. However, they demand you to showcase your practical skills as well. So they would have a small component wherein you might have to demonstrate your coaching skills to them, how to demonstrate a proper squat, how you teach a proper squat, or whatever it is. So once you clear that, you would get the full status, that is level 3. Then you can start working. So that's the basic and most that's the basic thing someone has to do in order to work as a personal trainer in Dubai.
So is there an exam for reps level 3?
Oh yes, if someone has done a local certificate, just like in my case, I did KFA certificate initially, which is not recognized at all in Dubai. Then I have to do both certificates, that is level 2 certificate, and then top up with level 3 certificate. So which means I need to approach the academies back in Dubai, okay, and go through the certification process. And usually it will be face to face because there'll be a practical component. So at least it will be 3 to 4 days of practical component, depending on which academy you choose. Yeah, so that's how it works. And if I'm not wrong, there are a few academies in India which are giving out certifications, reps level 3 certifications. So someone could do it in India too before flying out to Dubai.
So the next question that I might get about this is, how tough is the exam and the course for reps level 3?
It is tough. You need to know your stuff. Anatomy, you got to be pretty good at anatomy because you need to know what muscles are working. Like, again, layman's language, when you perform a squat, what muscles strengthen? I mean, what muscles are you strengthening, and what muscles are involved, and the safety aspects of it, everything. So you need to know anatomy. You need to know nutrition is involved, obviously, with the level 3 certification. And what's the other one? Keep forgetting. Probably you can help me out. Anatomy, nutrition, and there's one more.
Physiology, biomechanics.
It is not exclusively termed physiology, but there's one more section because it's been quite some time for me. It's been almost 8 years, so I've forgotten. There are 3 sections basically, so you need to be good at all 3. Yeah.
Makes sense. All the basics, in short, right?
The basics?
Yeah. I mean,
sorry.
You're talking about the basics: anatomy, nutrition,
yeah,
biomechanics, and other pillars of exercise science.
Exactly. Yeah, these are very important. I mean, you're asking me how difficult or how easy is it, or what is the question? Sorry,
No. I was just paraphrasing what you just said.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry.
No problem. So, as a gist of our conversation, and I'm sure that there's a lot of information that we discussed. If someone wants to drive home a message, who is currently a personal trainer, who might be an SNC in the future, what would be your advice be?
If possible, try and go for a degree, like a proper education, rather than going only for the certification. If you're young, if you're around 17 or 18 years old, try to pick up a degree which is related to sports science or exercise science. First advice. And second, the soft skills and the technical skills should go hand in hand. It's not like I'll be the best at my knowledge and then other things will fall in place. No. So try to improve both at the same time. When you're young, it would immensely benefit a lot. Because even when it comes to, probably I missed this point, I'll just take 2 minutes of the time. When you're an SNC coach, usually you tend to address a group. You walk into the strength room, you have the whole team. Okay. However, with respect to personal training, usually it's one-on-one. So you got to have a different. I mean, your communication skill has to be like really good to address a group of people and make them do the workout. So it's not like just one-on-one. So it is really, really important.
Right.
So these two would be my advice.
There we go. We have the answer, guys, from someone who's been through the grind, who've been in the trenches for some time. And all I want to tell the viewers is that it's okay to be a personal trainer. There is nothing wrong about being a personal trainer. And if you were an athlete while you were growing up, the chances are there that you might directly become an SNC using the contacts that you've had and capitalizing on the experience that you've had. If that's not the case, if you come from a pure gym background, chances are there that you might become a personal trainer. And yes, this field is flashy. I don't know for what reason, but it's okay to be a personal trainer. Not everyone needs to be an SNC, but if you decide to be an SNC, as Madhu rightly pointed out, always make sure that you do it the right way by getting your internship done or planning for your higher education, masters or bachelors. Yeah, I think that's it. Anything you would like to add?
No, you summed it up better than me, in fact. This is what I wanted to convey. And just to make things clear, I would like to say that both are equal, the soft skills and the technical skills. Okay, but I still stick to whatever I said during the interview, that for a personal trainer, you need to be able to effectively communicate. I just wanted to make it clear.
And sell the best, to be the best.
Yeah, there you go.
Great, Madhu. Thank you so much for your time. When do we see you back in India?
Probably after a year or so. That's what I'm planning. But I've got a very good head start in UK as of now, so it's pretty good. So I'm in a comfortable position.
Do you have
Thanks for inviting me. No, it is from West Ham. West Ham United.
Oh, great, great, perfect, awesome. So we will catch up soon once you're back in India, or when I fly to UK. For sure, we will catch up.
Definitely.
Now that you've moved to proper London, it just makes it more easier to be in touch with you.
Exactly. I would look forward to have a conversation with you face to face. We can discuss more about the industry, and I can learn one or two from you too.
Definitely. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for your time.
Thanks. And thanks for inviting me too.
I'm sure after this chat there will be a lot of questions that come our way, and maybe we probably can host a part 2 sometime later to answer those questions.
Why not? Definitely. I'm looking forward to it.
Cheers. Thanks, mate. Thank you so much.
Thank you.